Hey, Gail.
Kat, what are you doing here?
Nothing. I'm stalking you.
I was stepping out and you're following.
Exactly. I know, and you've got a pal with you here on the road.
This is Brant Curtis, and he's going to show us the one cup that they have put out, the Curtis company.
Cool. All right.
Take it away.
Okay, so this is the Curtis Gold Cup. It is our foray into the single cup market. We've been manufacturing coffee brewers for 72 years now.
Wow.
And this is the first...
You don't look that old.
I'm not. No.
He's just aged well, Gail.
Yeah.
That's why I keep the beard.
Yeah.
Guys, it's the wrinkles, yeah. So this is our first single cup unit, and it took us a few years to build it, and the reason why is because we're a drip coffee brewer manufacturer. Mm-hmm. We don't make espresso machines. We stay away from pressure. Okay. And so we realized that in the single cup market, there is no single cup brewer that doesn't use pressure.
Mm-hmm.
And so it took us a few years, but we have developed the Curtis Gold Cup, and it is an American style drip paper filtered coffee brewer.
Gotcha.
Okay.
So this is...
But it does one cup at a time.
It does one cup at a time, yes. Mm-hmm. So I often say that the brewer itself took about 2 months to develop. Mm-hmm. And the reason why is because all the components in this brewer are the same in all of our other brewers.
Oh.
So we didn't create anything new for this system. It's a drip brewer.
You're just adapting it to a single
Correct.
brew. Yeah.
What took so long to develop was this touchscreen technology, the Generation 4 touchscreen, as well as this brew cone.
Okay.
The screen and the brew cone took about 2 years to develop.
Really?
Yes.
Oh.
So that brew cone uses a standard number 4 filter that you can find anywhere.
Okay.
I just broke the machine.
You broke it.
Gail.
So the brew cone itself is very unique. I mean, it's a number 4 filter, but you've never seen a brew cone that looks like that for a number 4 filter. It's very geometric usually.
Yeah, usually they're round.
Yeah, the V60, the B dripper is very slanted.
Yeah.
So this is very unique. We didn't make a brew cone and then go to production with it and say that's good enough. This is actually the 26th prototype before it was final.
Wow.
So that's why it took 2 years to develop.
Yeah. Gotcha.
So like I said, fits a standard number 4 filter.
Yep.
What you do is you just open it up, drop it in, and we're gonna we'll brew some Batdorf. So we usually do an ounce of coffee for a 16-ounce brew, so 16:1 ratio.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So we'll brew that up, grind that up.
That grinder's perfect for that because it weighs it. Nice.
Unless you have more than one kind of coffee, then it's a little.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, it's good for one.
So standard, filter grind.
Yep.
So nothing special.
Yep.
Go ahead and dump it in. Give it a little bit of a settle. Go ahead and activate the screen. And so on here, we're able to do multiple recipes for different roasts. So we're also brewing a Pete's coffee.
Yep.
So this one's the Batdorf, so we'll hit that. And then what size are you brewing?
16-ounce, yeah.
We're hitting the 16-ounce.
And that's not programmable. That's
It is.
the 3 sizes that come. Oh, it is.
You can program anything you want. So like I said,
cool.
a lot of our customers are brewing a Chemex underneath.
Gotcha. Yeah,
And
that's
so when this is done brewing, I can go ahead and get into programming for you and show you how easy it is. You can store 44 different recipes in this controller. And if you're offering more than 44 different roasts, there's a huge quality control problem on your hands because you can't keep all of those coffees fresh.
Oh no, of course.
But even within those 44 different roasts, you can hold 3 different sizes. So that's 100 and whatever recipes that this thing will hold. It can hold more, but there's no reason for it to hold more than
Tripping
that.
out, Kat.
Oh.
Here it goes. And then.
So the average brew time is about 3 minutes. And the reason why people often go, oh, that's a long time. But if you're brewing a V60 or a Chemex, how long does it take you?
Yeah, exactly.
So what this is doing is I don't want to say mimicking a pour-over method. It's its own method. It's drip coffee. And it's going to make better coffee. And the reason why is because you can do it repeatable. You set a recipe in there.
Yep, and that's it.
And you don't have to worry about pouring the water clockwise versus counterclockwise versus in the middle. It's going to be the same every single time. So that way you can dial in a recipe and get it dead nuts every time.
Does it disperse the water out of like a shower head?
It does.
Okay, gotcha.
So it uses a standard spray head. We don't patent a lot of stuff at Curtis. The reason why is it's awfully expensive to do
there
so.
we go.
It's easy to get around patents and hard to defend them.
Yeah, it is.
So when we have something that we find is worth patenting, that we're willing to spend a lot of money to defend, we'll patent it. So this spray head, which is this spray head or a variation, is found on all of our equipment. This has been patented for about 15 years.
Oh, you can stick with it.
Exactly, and we've never had a problem with these. The only problem we had is people over tightening them and splitting them.
Yeah.
Okay.
But what do you can't do much there.
Nope.
Technology is patented. The way that it works, and these brew cones are patented.
And you're working on what temperature is the water when it hits the coffee?
200 degrees.
200.
Yeah, and that's another thing with it being a machine versus a kettle, is that you know what the water temperature is because you're not losing heat as soon as you pull it from the tower.
Exactly what you want. You want it to always be the same.
Exactly. So,
Consistency.
and you can change the temperature of the water as well.
Oh, cool.
You can't change it between brews, so you can't have one, lighter roast you want a little bit higher than dark roast. You can't change it in between. But when you're brewing, you know what the water temperature is every time.
Nice.
The unit ships with it ships dual voltage with a 110 cord.
You just swap it over.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you were doing a lot of coffees. Excuse me. One of the patents that we have on the brew cone is that it's a no drip brew cone. So you'll see here that when it's about done, I don't know if I sync this up yet, it'll just stop. And there's nothing mechanical in there. People often go, oh, is there a little valve? No, it works through siphon technology.
Oh, okay.
So you'll see here, and not like a Japanese siphon. That's
that's
kind of the rage right now.
Yeah.
That's completely different.
That is
Wait for it. It's gonna make a fool of me.
Oh, it goes.
So it just shuts off.
Oh, that
So
is
it actually did an extra drip, which it usually doesn't do.
That's nothing.
So
Yeah.
you can see it's all saturated. There's no ground. There's, it didn't build up and then cave down in the center. And here's your cleanup.
Nice.
That's tough.
And now you're ready to go. So, like I said, we patented this brew cone, and again, went through 26 different renditions. So these strakes is what they're called. They're not ridges. I get yelled at when I call them ridges. Our engineers say no, they're strakes. These have a very important purpose. So every single one of them was designed specifically for this brew cone.
Yeah, it's a little bit different as it goes around. Oh yeah, some stick out further than others.
Exactly.
All kinds
Okay.
of things going on.
And so the purpose of that, even down to the little channel there. So these ridges are designed to keep the filter off the side so you get even extraction.
Right.
But some of them are thicker than others and stick out further to create a meniscus on the paper filter that'll suck it and hold it open.
Oh wow.
So it's designed to keep it off the sides but keep it open.
So
That's
tell
cool.
me one thing. Why does this come down like this? Just for strength?
To set it down.
Or to set it down on the counter?
Yeah.
Well, what a lousy question that was, Gail.
I don't know, Gail. Somebody was going to ask it, so it should have been you.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, and then there's that little cap in there, and that's the siphon cap.
Oh, okay. And so it
So-
just kind of seals down.
And that does two things. There's nothing mechanical. There's nothing moving in there. It works like an ancient siphon. It's ancient technology. We just stole it. So like you were siphoning gas from a buddy's car. That's all that is. So the liquid level has to
cool.
reach a certain point in the brew cone before it'll evacuate the brew cone.
I like that.
So it does two things. One is it allows for better pre-infusion. Which better pre-infusion meaning that the liquid level has to reach a certain point in here before it'll evacuate the brew cone. So that means that the grounds have a chance to sit in the liquid and really completely rehydrate.
Yes, saturate the whole thing.
Exactly. So
Yeah,
you
it's called
actually
pre-infusion.
Pre-infusion. Go figure. And then once the liquid, like when you start the brew process and the liquid level reaches a certain point, that's when you see the evacuation of the coffee from the brew cone.
Okay.
The second feature of that is, as you saw, the no drip.
Shuts on.
Exactly. So it's done. You know when it's done, and you can sync up the drip out time with that. So if you're in a cafe, you know exactly how much longer you've got in that brew process before it stops dripping.
There's only one thing left.
Tasting the coffee.
Tasting.
Well,
I've been very
there's a lot more
patient.
left. There's a lot more to this brewer.
Thank you. Oop, got it.
Thank you. So do you want to take us through the programming interface?
So, one of the benefits of the Generation 4 is the GUI interface, the graphic user interface. Everything's graphic. When you get into programming, everything has an icon so that theoretically, you don't even need the words on there to see it. Obviously, you have screensavers. We're using the most out of our technology.
Hey, Don. How are you?
So you activate the screen, you get into programming, you hit the Curtis logo, and you enter your password.
Woo!
Don't tell anyone it's 1, 2, 3, 4.
I won't. I'll edit that out. Don't worry.
Okay. So there are your settings.
Oh, nice.
So like I said, coming out of the parts, the model select. This board works on all of these models. It works on those models over there. So literally you can take this board out and stick it in those and it'll work. You want to get into the recipes. This is actually unreleased software. It'll be released next week. But I want to edit the Batdorf recipe.
Oh, wow.
There you go. So we're doing the medium size. So the very first pulse, or your pre-infusion, I have 5 seconds of water, or 2.2 ounces.
Yeah.
And then I leave it, I have a pre-infusion of 30 seconds. So it sits in there for 30 seconds. And so if we were to brew coffee again, you'd notice that I'd hit brew and it would take a good 45 seconds for the coffee to evacuate because it's pre-infusing. And then you just go along in all your different pulses. So if I wanted to add a pulse to the end, I'd hit the 8th one and give it some time. It gives you a total of how many ounces you're brewing, the off time, and then your total time with the drip out and everything.
Everybody should have one of these in their kitchen.
Oh, yeah.
Seriously, I know. Unfortunately, it is only a commercial. It's got to be plumbed in.
Yeah. Hey, you'd be surprised.
It is ADA. All of our salesmen, all of our VPs,
they all have
these
them
on their kitchen countertops. My dad has one on his countertop. Yeah.
I'm telling you.
I don't.
People will. People will want it at home.
That's part of your bonus plan, right?
Exactly. I sell a certain amount, and there you go.
Exactly.
But so you've got a bunch of different settings. You've got the temperature settings. You want to change the tank temperature? There you go. We just change it to 202.
Okay.
Nice.
Can you differentiate between the two?
Two heads?
Yeah.
No.
No. Okay.
Once you set the temperature, it's set. We do have the ability to do that. We don't have any brewers that do that just because the technology to do that would be too expensive.
Yeah.
So one thing about this is the diagnostics with all of our Generation 4. So if you were to run this through, I'm going to go ahead and put that underneath. You can run an auto test. It runs through the whole system to make sure everything's working correctly. Now this model doesn't have a brew cone lock, a bypass valve, or a warmer, so it says those aren't even here.
Yeah.
But everything else is checking out okay.
Nice, yeah.
It does that every single time it brews too. Whenever it brews, it runs that test to make sure that everything is working correctly.
Nice.
Do you want to do filter pre-wet? So if you're working in a cafe, you now have filter pre-wet buttons.
Oh, so it will do that. You add your coffee, and then you.
No, before you add the coffee, you put the filter in.
No, that's what I'm saying. You do that, and then you add your coffee after.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So it'll rinse the filter for you.
Nice.
Recipes. So you see here we have two different recipes, and those are important. For wholesale roasters, they're the ones that know how their coffee's supposed to taste.
Yeah, exactly.
Us as a manufacturer, we don't know how you want your coffee to taste.
No, you just want to help them achieve it.
Exactly. So these two coffees here are very different.
Yeah, they're very different.
And so you would want to brew them very differently. And so with the multiple recipes, you have the ability to do that. But as a roaster, even roasters have their own different roast profiles. So what you would do is you would set the recipe back at your shop, and then you would stick a USB right into this drive here.
Oh, nice.
What that's going to do is it's going to pull up a screen and it's going to say, are you wanting to put the recipes and the screensaver to the USB, or do you want to take the recipes from the USB to the screensaver? And actually, I don't have my USB on me. It would be good to show you. And so you have the ability to, through USB, to send recipes. You can then take that file and email it.
Nice.
And all you have to do is take the thumb drive and stick it in the side.
Yep.
It's a proprietary file. You can't screw it up. You can't mix it up with another file. This brewer only looks for that type of file.
Cool.
Every single unit that has the Generation 4, so whether the single cup or our larger brewers, has a USB on the side. It's not a upcharge. It's just a standard offer.
So we're gonna get one of those bad boys over there in our shop.
Yeah, those
Big
guys. Cool. All right. So really designed around gourmet brewing, both in like a roasters,
for sure.
But also in restaurants. And
exactly. We designed this for two main reasons. One is for excellent coffee. This machine will make better coffee than any other machine, and I guarantee it. Because it's making an American-style cup of drip filtered coffee. It's not using pressure. Americans like their coffee a certain way. They don't like the European style. And so this makes an American style cup of coffee. So that was the main reason, is to make the best single cup of coffee in the world. The second is to save. The second is to save wholesalers money. So you own a slow, even a slow to moderately busy cafe, and you're a quality cafe. You're focused on quality. If you just use this to brew decaf coffee, it'll pay for itself in about a month. Because you're not wasting.
Pots after pots.
Exactly.
You can't. You could only do one side at a time.
Nope.
Both?
You do 2 sides.
All right. So that is the 1 cup brewer from Curtis.
And samples. Delicious.
Yes.
It was very
delicious.
Good. Yeah, very good.
All right.
Very impressed. And I don't drink it black. I can drink this black.
Yeah,
Good.
she's the queen of half and half.
I'm the queen of half and half. Yeah.
I know.
I think it's a great machine. I love it. I think in a restaurant, a high-end restaurant, hands down.
A bar,
Yeah.
cafe.
Oh, yeah. You know, sometimes
For cafe owners that are tired of paying people to pour hot water.
Yeah, exactly. And you see espresso makers sometimes in cafes, and nobody knows how to use them really.
Yeah.
Not cafes, bars.
Bars, yeah.
They don't know how to use them. This is much better.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, so that's the 1
thank
cup brewer from Curtis. Thank you very much.
Thank you very
Welcome.
much. Good to meet you.